What's up, Niner fans? We are here on Monday. It's Chiefs week. Yeah, wake up, ladies and gentlemen. Chiefs week. A lot of people are nervous. A lot of people are worried. You know what? 49ers got Ricky Pearsall back today. You know what that means? This boy is back. Just like 6 weeks ago, this man got shot in the chest, as we know. He came back to practice today. The 49ers opened up his practice window and he went back to practice for the first time during the regular season. This is unbelievable that Ricky Pearsall came back today. As we saw all the cool videos and the content everybody was posting out there today. Slick Rick, man, back in the building. I'm excited for the guy. I don't know if he's going to play this weekend. Obviously, really depends on how he gets through practice. But Ricky Pearsall being back is huge. I think this can be a huge boost of energy for this team. The team just was hyped when they saw him today, out there. You could tell, like, George Kittle was pointing at him, and they said it's his day back. The veterans welcomed him with open arms, and then he broke down the huddle for practice. That's pretty dope to see, you know. So you can see the sense of this team just really, enjoying the fact that Ricky Pearsall is back, and he seemed to have really good energy. He was dancing, vibing out there. I think this is great, great news for the 49ers. Ricky Pearsall could be a guy that could give him a boost of energy in the red zone, not just in the offense overall. Now, obviously, we don't know how he's going to play. He's a rookie, but he looks great, from what we saw in the training camp and everything, and from what we've seen on film. This guy looks like he could be a very dynamic player for the 49ers. Young, wide receiver, ready to make a name for himself. The expectations are high because he was a first-round pick, and the first-round pick in 3 years. But it's just amazing to see that this guy, a couple of weeks ago, he was shot. We didn't know what the heck was going to happen, and now he's back with the 49ers on the practice field. So I'm hoping to see him play. I'm hoping to see him get back in action soon. But again, we don't know if he's going to play on Sunday. Again, just to have him back in practice is fantastic. Fantastic. My man RF Gang says, how about them Cowboys? They got cooked today. They got smashed, man. They got smashed. Christine says, Pearsall's a warrior. He really is. He really is an unbelievable person, man. Renee says, I'm looking forward to this game. I'm hoping the 49ers give the Chiefs their first loss. Me too. I'm not like stressed like everybody. I'm excited. I'm amped up for this game. I think the 49ers have a good chance to take down, the Chiefs this Sunday. I know a lot of people aren't going to believe that, but I think they will. I think they have a chance to give the Chiefs their first loss. I know the Chiefs are coming off a bye week, but every dog has their day. The 49ers are a 1.5-point favorite at home. They got a great team. I know Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have been the 49ers kryptonite over the years, but I don't know. The Chiefs, they haven't looked like unbelievable yet, but they are undefeated, so we got to give them their credit. Mahomes has been beatable this year. They find ways to win. The refs help them out. And, they're banged up too. The 49ers are banged up, but so are the Chiefs. So I think it's going to be a very tough game for both teams, and it's going to come down to the end. They're both very equally matched. We saw it in the Super Bowl. It came down to overtime. And hopefully the 49ers can win. I mean, it's not going to be full revenge if they beat them on this regular season game, but it'll feel good. It'll not be full 100% vindication because they'll still be able to flaunt those rings, but it is nice. So, yeah. How's everybody doing today, by the way? Make sure you guys hit that like button, all that good stuff. Julia says, Ricky coming out the tunnel with many men. I think that's what's going to happen. Can you imagine the day Ricky comes out that tunnel and they're blasting, many, many, many men, wish death upon me. Oh, my God. It's going to be crazy. I get chills just thinking about it. It's going to be nice, man. It's going to be nice. Let's see. A couple more questions. This is good. So it's going to open it up to the rest of the day because there were questions, there were updates. The players practice. It's a bonus practice Monday. It's a short week, a longer week. They had the mini bye week, so the players get an extra practice in on this Monday. So they didn't play Sunday, so they get that extra bonus practice. And today, Jordan Mason was on the field, but he was in a blue non-contact jersey, according to Nick Wagner. And, so he was there. He's participating, probably more of a limited fashion. He had the AC joint sprain. And according to Nick Wagner and other reports, Jordan Mason participated today. But again, non-contact, you got to keep that shoulder, safe. You don't want to hurt that shoulder and everything like that. It's kind of like when Ricky Pearsall a couple of months ago had their blue non-contact jersey. He was also dealing with the shoulder issue, so you don't want to get contact on that shoulder. Specifically for Jordan Mason, it's an AC joint sprain, so you don't want to put any pressure on that AC joint. That's not needed. So no contact for him, but he's out there running drills today. So good news for him. Other good news today. This was also according to Nick Wagner. He's just the first person I saw report this. There was other people, obviously, that reported, but he gets the credit from me. Participating today, Charvarius Ward, who had the knee issue. Fred Warner, he had the ankle issue a couple weeks ago. George Kittle had the rib issue. Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles, he had the calf issue. They practiced today. They were in uniform. Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles and Mooney Ward didn't play last game, so both of them were able to practice today. That's a very encouraging sign. We did mention Jordan Mason's shoulder was participating in a blue non-contact jersey. And then on the side field, Malik Mustafa, who has an ankle issue, and Jordan Elliott with the knee issue were doing that today, working on the side field. So, good news. The 49ers are not as banged up as they once were. They're rounding back into form. This is a big game against the Chiefs. And again, you had Mooney Ward, Flannigan-Fowles were back today in practice. Malik Mustafa and Jordan Elliott were working on the side field. They didn't necessarily practice, but good sign for them, right? And then some other news, the kicker, Matthew Wright, he did not practice today. We know he has a shoulder issue, but he's probably going to play against the Chiefs. They got to be cautionary. But on positive kicker news, Jake Moody is out of the walking boot. This is according to Eric Branch. So good news for Jake Moody, who has the high ankle sprain. He's out of his walking boot. So, they said he's going to miss about a month or so. It's a good sign for him. And then earlier today, if you guys saw it on X, John Feliciano could be making a return. He tweeted out, "I'm ready," with a SpongeBob meme. I mean, John Feliciano he's a funny guy. The tweets he makes, sometimes say, okay. But he used SpongeBob to announce that he's getting close to coming off the IR. So he posted, "I'm ready," with the SpongeBob meme. That's good news, though, because John Feliciano, if he comes back, he's a starter right away. You could probably put him at center right away. I mean, guards are playing good. Banks and Pooney, you don't want to throw him in at the guard spot because, Pooney and Banks have played really well. But you could put him in at center. He'd be an upgrade over Jake Brendel. So, good news, right? John Feliciano is back. We love depth. We love offensive line depth. That's great news to hear. So, again, Feliciano looks like he's coming back. Mooney Ward, Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles practiced today. They didn't, they weren't an issue with them. That's great because they didn't play on Sunday. Jordan Mason, again, limited in a blue non-contact jersey. And Ricky Pearsall, back, baby. And then, of course, Matthew Wright didn't practice. And Jake Moody is out of the walking boot. So, good news for us. Christine says, "Who do I have tonight?" She says she has the Bills. I'm taking the Jets in an upset. This was my upset pick of the week. I know it's crazy. New coach, Jeff Ulbrich, former 49er linebacker, great guy. He said that Patrick Willis was the inspiration behind him becoming a coach. Love that for him. Love that for both of them. I got the upset. I don't know. I just feel like this team's going to come out. They're going to respond. New coach. It's crazy. Still a good team. Jets are not horrible, but they got to figure out that offense. But I think they'll rally, and they're going to beat the Bills. I know it's crazy. It's my prediction for tonight. Steven Reynolds says, "If Matthew Wright did great, especially closing games with the W, I want him as a Niners future kicker." A lot of people were impressed with Matthew Wright, and they said he should be the kicker over Moody. I mean, the thing is, it's not going to happen. Jake Moody was drafted by the 49ers. If you draft a kicker, he's pretty much got to stay on your team for a while. You know what I mean? It's like an unspoken rule. But, Matthew Wright played really well. I was happy of his performance. He was knocking those kicks down. He has a nice leg. He was cooking. A cool thing about Matthew Wright, we learned, I saw a post yesterday, and I posted it up there. He's a rocket scientist. The guy's a freaking rocket scientist. Smart guy. And, he tried out to be an NFL kicker, and it worked out for him. What a guy. Can you imagine? You're like, I'm a rocket scientist. I'm going to go play NFL football. I'm going to become a kicker. Gotta love it. Him and Josh Dobbs, probably best friends. I saw everybody posting about or commenting on that on the post. That him and Josh Dobbs are probably like best of friends now. Their conversation's got to be amazing. Josh Dobbs, he's an astronaut. and then you got a rocket scientist, Mr. Matthew Wright. Can you imagine those two in the same room? Brain power to the moon, pun intended. Wright's leg is kind of weak. His kickoffs were short. I don't think he's like a kickoff guy. I mean, he's probably more of a specialist who's just going to knock kicks down. His career long is 59 yards, so he does have some type of a leg. But kickoffs are a little different than, trying to make that straight kick. It's a whole different experience. And the way these dynamic kicks are, I don't know. It's a whole different vibe. But again, I'm not a kicker, so maybe it's not that hard. So Chris Teal says, how did I feel about Kyle Juszczyk finally doing a little bit more than blocking? Yeah, we need him. We need everybody, all hands on deck. I love Kyle Juszczyk as a captain. He's always been, a great guy on this team, and his blocking is fantastic. We love it. He opens up a lot of lanes, but you got to use him a little bit more. And, he is a weapon. Not a lot of teams use a fullback, so I'm not like, oh, my God, the fullback needs to get like 5 touches a game. But, for the amount of money this guy gets paid, it is nice to see him contribute a little bit more, in terms of, catching the ball, making big plays, touchdowns, because we know Kyle Juszczyk's very capable of making big plays. We've seen him toe drag swag. We've seen him make some incredible catches, some big touchdowns for the 49ers. So he's a good player. But, at the end of the day, a lot of people want him to go out there and be like this extra secret weapon, this like tight end kind of like George Kittle. But he does do a lot of blocking. He's more like the 6th option on offense. You're not going to sit there and see this guy every week have monster games. It's just not the way a fullback's used. He does a lot of blocking. I know people are upset that you're paying him a lot for blocking, but at the same time, he's really important to this blocking game, especially that zone blocking scheme for the running. He opens up a lot of lanes. It's like having another offensive lineman, right? Colton McKivitz, nobody's a fan of him. So if you take away Kyle Juszczyk, you're putting more pressure on a guy like Colton McKivitz. So I don't mind him blocking, but he gets paid a lot. So it is nice to see him act as a weapon. But again, he's like the 6th option. So I'm not one of those people that said, oh, you got to give Kyle Juszczyk all these care. Oh, my God. I mean, I know Grant Cohn and him have a little beef. And people say, he's overpaid or whatever. But he's a fullback. Not a lot of people use a fullback in the league. And he does make big plays when they need him every once in a while. So that's, I guess, the overall take. All hands on deck. Thoughts on Nick Wright saying Mahomes had a better week than Purdy? That's nothing new, MS. People are always going to move the goalposts on Brock Purdy. He can have a 3-touchdown game. He can have a 4-touchdown game. He can go out there 300 yards. No matter what he does, they'll just keep on saying, well, this guy was better. Well, this guy was better. The goalposts are always going to move for Brock Purdy. Oh, he has the Avengers. Oh, he has the Yak brother. He has this. I take it with a grain of salt. I don't care what anybody says about Brock Purdy nowadays. It's just one of those things where he goes out there, he proves people wrong. We can laugh. We can post the receipts. We had Colin Cowherd last week said that Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. Maybe in a few years, Bo Nix will be. I mean, he's played, 6 games this year? Come on, man. You can't sit there and tell me Bo Nix is a better quarterback. And this weekend, Bo Nix did not look great at all this weekend. And you know what? Brock Purdy did. So for anybody that's hating on Brock Purdy in the media, they always look stupid. They always look like they're wearing the dunce cap after a couple of weeks. So Chris says, do you believe we're lacking receiving out the backfield, knowing it starts with CMC? I know Jordan Mason has improved in that area. That's what he worked on in the offseason, so he could be similar to CMC, right? The jugs machine, he talked about that. But yeah, we definitely are missing receiving out the backfield. Christian McCaffrey was not just a good running back, but he was a good receiving threat. We know Debo does a little bit here and there, but not at the extent of Christian McCaffrey. And Debo, as great as he is, there's times he gets hurt, so they limit him, and he's not at the caliber of a guy like Christian McCaffrey. Coming out that backfield, catching those screens, the little dump-off plays, it's amazing what he was able to do, especially in the red zone, and I think that's where we're struggling. We've talked about that before. So, yeah, definitely, we're definitely missing Christian McCaffrey in many factors, but especially out of the passing game. He opened up so much because when the defense thinks he's going to run, he catches a pass. When they think he's going to catch a pass, he runs. And sometimes you don't see the hole opening up, and you're like, how did he get through that? Just his vision is so elite. So, yeah, absolutely the 49ers miss his receiving ability. They miss everything about Christian McCaffrey. So, California man says Dallas losing yesterday was definitely Jerry Jones' birthday present. I loved it, man. I loved every second yesterday. Enjoyed it. I'm sitting here, no Niner game, no stress. We already secured the dub, and the Cowboys getting shellacked. Loved it. Loved it. It was nice. Those games yesterday were pretty subpar. I did miss the Niners, but I did take a lot of enjoyment seeing the Cowboys and a couple other teams like the Raiders losing yesterday. When a player goes down, Juice steps up, and so does Debo, says Christine. Yeah, they're guys that know the team. They know the system. Any given moment, they can step up. Debo's a guy that's always been tearing. He's been great for this team. Been really good for this team over the years. And people doubt him, and he comes up and he has big plays a lot of the times. He comes out and he's just like, oh, wow, there goes Debo. People forget about Debo. He does step up a lot. But I think the thing about Debo, every once in a while he gets banged up. And when he gets banged up, when he comes back, he's a little limited. He might be a decoy. But when Debo's on, when he flips that switch, he's unbelievable. So, you gotta love it. And yeah, Kyle Juszczyk, he makes some big plays here and there. Julia says, Dak getting paid $60+ million a year for that. I mean, if Dak Prescott's getting paid $60 million, how much money is Brock Purdy going to get made next year? Because he's crushing everything Dak's doing this year, and he's winning games, 3-3. But at the end of the season, if Brock Purdy's another Pro Bowler, if he's got 12 wins under his belt and all that kind of stuff, I mean, he should be so much more money than Dak Prescott. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But, good stuff, good news. I'm just happy that Ricky Pearsall is back with the Niners. It was great to see him, and all those videos came out. And, it's a good, like I said, I think it's going to be a big boost of energy for this team. I think it's going to help team morale. And again, it's going to be great to see this guy when he finally gets in the game, when he finally gets out there and makes a big play, when he finally gets a touchdown. I mean, the Niner fans are going to go crazy. Like the amount of, energy, the amount of excitement is just going to be through the roof. I don't think we're ready for how loud he's going to be. So Julia says, do I think Purdy would take a little pay cut, or is he going to max out his contract extension? I mean, I know a lot of people says, oh, they could see Purdy taking a pay cut, this and that, team-friendly guy, be like Tom Brady. I mean, yeah, he probably could. Why not? Go out there and get the max amount, man. You could make history, become the highest-paid NFL player of all time. He has the potential if he continues to play the way he is, and the trajectory goes up and the market value is what it is. This man would be the last pick in the draft and then the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Do you understand the how crazy that is? The story that is, the marketing he can do just in terms of long term. I'm looking out for him in terms hey, look, go get that bag. You deserve that money. You're the last pick. Everybody doubted you. Now you're going to be the highest paid quarterback, the highest paid player in the league. That's crazy. Let him get his money. I mean, I get it. Everybody wants him to take the team friendly deal because the Niners are going to be able to, it's going to be tough for the cap space. But guess what? A lot of players are going to leave regardless if he signs or not. It's a business. You got a lot of young players. The 49ers have drafted well, especially this year. That's what the next man up is about. They last year and the year before, they've had Brock Purdy on a measly chump change contract, right? They were able to afford a lot of guys. Now it's going to be the other way. You're going to pay Brock Purdy a lot of money, and then you're going to have to really rely on younger, cheaper, good talent. And last year, this draft, they knocked that draft out of the park so far. So I want him to get paid. I think he deserves to get paid. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, man, he needs to take less money. If he takes it, that's great. That's a fantastic move by his part. He's a humble guy, so it could happen. He's one of those guys where you're like, damn, he is so nice. He could take a pay cut. I could see it, but I don't think he needs to take a pay cut. I think he deserves every penny that he's going to get. Again, it'll be great for him long term. They'll make movies about the guy. Unbelievable, man. Just great for him overall. So I hope Aiden Hutchinson gets well soon, says California Man. Me too. Renee says, I hope the rookies play more on Sunday. I hope so too. Chris Teal says, Hutchinson's injury, was it the same as Paul George? I don't remember what Paul George had, but it's more similar to a Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott had basically the same injury a couple years back, and he made good recovery, obviously. And he, as much as we could talk about trash about how Dak is, on the field. But he's a good guy. He said he went over, he talked to Aiden, he gave him some advice. He had a similar injury, and he said, keep your head up. Your story's not over. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, tough injury, man. Emergency surgery yesterday because he had a compound fracture of the tib fib. That's unfortunate injury. It's a tough injury. That's gruesome. But prayers up. He's a tough guy. He's a strong mentality. I've seen him play at college level. He was a monster. I've seen him play in the NFL. He was probably going to be the defensive player of the year if he kept it up. So it's unfortunate for him, but I think he'll bounce back and be great again. So Christine says, stay home, please, so we can get this win. Y'all don't want me to go to the game. I might go to the game. Now. I got some people reaching out to me that says they might be able to give me tickets to this game. So I don't know. I want to go because I want to go to a Niner game, but at the same time, if I go and they lose, it's my fault. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a good rest of your night. Good week. It's been a great day. Niners, Ricky Pearsall's back. John Feliciano might be back soon. Jordan Mason came back to practice. Mooney Ward. Good stuff. Good day. I think the Niners are in a good headspace. Tomorrow, the players have a day off. Back to practice Wednesday. Kyle Shanahan meets with the media on Wednesday. We'll get a lot of answers moving forward. And have a good rest of your day, okay? Have a good night. Tomorrow, live with Jake, Uncovered NFL. I think 5:30 p.m. Pacific, most likely. We're going to be live. I'll be live at the Plex as we do our live show. So check it out tomorrow, live on Instagram. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Love you. Bang, bang. Nine again.